Welcome to the Microsoft Software and Systems Academy MSSA program brief for May 2026. Our mission at Microsoft is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. At Microsoft Military Affairs, our mission is helping the military community find opportunities in today's digital economy. The MSSA program. MSSA offers transitioning service members and veterans essential technical and career skills needed for today's expanding tech industry. You can choose for 3 different learning paths based on your interests and goals. It includes 448 hours of in-class technical training and 147 hours of professional development instruction. It's fully funded by Microsoft, so there's no cost to the participant for taking the program. It is a full-time commitment day to day. It's 17 weeks, and it's Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m., and each cohort has 15 participants. And then additional effort is outside the class as expected, as you'll have homework and projects and things that you work on outside of the day-to-day instruction. MSSA by the numbers gives you a little bit of outlook on what we've done so far with the program. Our graduation rate is 94%. Employed is 97% within 60 days of completing the program. Those who get employed in tech is 91%. And then we have 729 Microsoft employee mentors that mentor every cohort. Every cohort will have a group of mentors, technical and kind of HR mentors that prepare you for interviewing for tech roles. So far, we've done 4,323 graduates of the program, and we currently have in the classroom 131 individuals, 110 core, which is just the straight MSSA program. We have 14 on our military spouse program, and we have 7 international, which is done in Central European time. Just breaking out each outcome between the US, international, and corporate partners. Just see the numbers there. It's 4,246 in the United States. All those percentages of graduation, employment, and employed in tech are all in the 90s, 90 percentiles, and we currently have 124 in class. International outcomes, we've had 77 graduates, 97% graduation rate, and 90 employed in tech, and we currently have 7 in that class. And corporate partners, these are companies that have hired from the program outside of Microsoft. We've had over 1,200 companies hire from MSSA. With 10 plus graduate hires, 45 companies have hired more than 10. And then more than 3, we've had 222 companies who've hired at least more than 3 from MSSA. This is like a list. It's not exhaustive of all the different types of opportunities that people land in when they complete the program. From the server and cloud administration learning path, these are the top roles: systems administrator, engineer, software engineer, cloud engineer, network engineer, and information security officer. From our cloud application development learning path, which is a software development path, so software developer, software engineer, application developer, .NET, and cloud engineers. And then from our cybersecurity learning path, cybersecurity operations analyst, cybersecurity engineer, and network administrator. And then, as I said, many, many more opportunities. Often it depends on what skill sets you already bring to the program. Could have an impact on what sort of role you end up in when you complete the program. This is a breakout of how the learning path is delivered week by week. So the typical week is a technical instruction, begins at 8 and goes to 5. There's flex time built in, and each cohort has a Microsoft career development manager who's your day-to-day connection into Microsoft. That's outside of the instructor who's a Microsoft certified instructor and who's delivering the technical instruction. So it's done Monday through Thursday in the technical instruction weeks, and then on Friday is what we call professional development. Professional development is a program to prepare you for employment, which includes interviewing, resume building, LinkedIn, and using LinkedIn to network, as well as building that great LinkedIn profile. And then week 9 is dedicated to professional development. It's a full week of professional development. Your Microsoft Career Development Manager manages that whole program where you're again working on preparing yourself to interview for opportunities. You'll have guest speakers, the mentors are involved, and it varies depending on what speakers may come in and what the mentors or career development manager has in store for that week. The program component, so it's live real-time virtual instruction. You're not looking at recorded videos and working on projects from that. You'll have a live instructor day to day providing you the technical learning. There's hosted labs and lab challenges that you work on with your fellow cohort members, also personal projects, and then there's mock interviews to prepare you for the interview phase. You'll receive a Azure subscription, so you work in the cloud. All the programs are done within the Azure cloud platform. You'll have a voucher for one Microsoft certification exam, and then additional resources according to the learning path that you're in. It varies according to each learning path. A little bit more about each learning path and the different topics that are covered and the certificate options. So the certificates, just to let you know, they're not a requirement. Many of the candidates end up completing a certificate. It makes you more marketable when you begin interviewing, but it's not a requirement to complete the program. So for the server and cloud administration learning path, a network admin is what it focuses on. The topics include PowerShell, networking, Azure Intra ID, Azure Fundamentals and Endpoint Management, and Azure Administration. The fundamental certificate is Azure Fundamentals. And then if you have a little bit more experience and you're able to complete the next level certification is the Azure Administrator Associate Certificate. Our cloud application development learning path include programming in C#, data structures and algorithms, developing web apps, Azure Fundamentals and Azure Development. The fundamental certificate is again the Azure Fundamentals certificate, and then the higher level certificate is the Azure Developer Associates certificate. Our cybersecurity operations learning path topics include Windows Server Core Technologies, CompTIA Security Plus and CYSA Plus, Azure Administration, Endpoint Management, Azure Security Technologies, Security Operations, and Azure Intra ID, which is a Microsoft security product. The fundamental exam and certificate is the Security, Compliance, and Identity Fundamentals, and the higher level certificate is the Microsoft Security Operations Analyst. And as we mentioned earlier, you do get a voucher for the certificate that you pursue. The professional development component, so it's a custom curriculum developed by the Microsoft Military Affairs team, resume review, interview preparation, the mentoring from full-time employees at Microsoft. Most of them are prior service. Many of them are MSSA graduates themselves. There's technical and professional development mentors, and then you get insight into Microsoft work life and tech industry as a whole. And role search resources, we have an MSSA job board from our corporate partner companies that are looking to hire. And then there's also coordination for these corporate partner companies to present their opportunities while you're in the cohort. And then alumni resources, we say once MSSA, always MSSA. So we're here to support you in employment, not only when you complete the program, but if you were to go out and get employed elsewhere and you're interested in coming back and utilizing our job board or connecting it to MSSA for another opportunity, we're here to support you. So there's a private alumni group, invitation only group on LinkedIn for networking opportunities, an alumni job board, and keeping connected to your MSSA grads all across the board. Special events and alumni mentoring as well. And now I'll turn it over to Beth Jarvis for the application process.
Thanks, Joe. So the next cohorts we will be recruiting for run from November 9th through March 12th, and we will be offering server and cloud application developer, and cybersecurity. And the cohorts will be offered in both Central and Pacific time. Does not matter where you live, you just pick the time that works best for your schedule. It's important you're tracking two things. One, the application window. It will go live on June 22nd at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it will close at July 9th on July 9th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So really important that you are tracking those dates. We will have a banner ad that will be on our website that is only live during those 2 weeks. The other important thing to track is the materials cutoff date. There are some prerequisite items that are required from you, depending on if you're a veteran or active duty. And the materials cutoff date for these cohorts is August 31st. So you need to, during the 2 weeks, you fill out a form. It's going to take you about 20 minutes. The hardest part about it is to create an Outlook account. And that's how we will be communicating with you. And then provided you get everything uploaded by the materials cutoff date, the final part of the application process is a 30-minute interview with 2 members of our team. And that's going to be a Teams interview that will mostly gauge your passion and potential for IT, but also have a few technical questions. For each learning path, there is prerequisite learning on LinkedIn, and you will need to do the affiliated learning for your learning path, and then you'll have to load your certificate of completion by the materials cutoff date. And then the only other thing, if these upcoming dates don't correlate with your end of service date, you have to be within 180 days to take a SkillBridge program. The next cohorts we offer will be January 11th through May 7th. And then if you require dates that are further out, the other dates are listed on our website. As I mentioned, for those who get everything loaded in time for the materials cutoff date, you will have that 30-minute interview with 2 members of our team. Like I said, it's via Teams. It'll be situational behavioral questions predominantly, but then there'll also be a couple of technical questions related to the LinkedIn learning. And then what we're looking for, we want people who are passionate about technology, who really want to pursue IT as a career, who are collaborative and who know how to work in challenging and diverse environments, and people who have an aptitude for learning technical topics. And again, you're going to need to, as you go through the LinkedIn learning, which will take you about 20 to 30 hours, depending on your pace, you're going to make sure you're absorbing that content, since you will get a couple of questions related to it in the interview. So let's look at each learning path, and we'll talk more about the prerequisite learning that's required, and then any other requirements, and then the interview topics that you can anticipate. So the first learning path is server and cloud administration. This is a true reskilling, upskilling learning path. No prior experience is required. No certifications are required. Your LinkedIn learning that you take for this learning path will be the networking and administration fundamentals. And some of the interview topics you can see in the far right column. It could be related to networking tools. You could questions about communications protocols, OSI model, IP addressing and DNS, DHCP, firewalls and network security, identity and access management, and Windows Server components. So the second learning path we will be offering will be Cloud Application Development, or CAD. The prerequisite learning for the LinkedIn learning is Software Development Fundamentals. Additionally, you have to get a free CodeCamp Foundational C# certification, and that is part of that hyperlink there, that MSSA collection for CAD. That is where you go for that. Like the server and cloud, we do not require any prior work experience. So again, this is another reskilling, upskilling learning path. Some of the interview topics you can anticipate: variables and data types, object-oriented programming using C#, classes, methods, and objects, inheritance, polymorphism, error handling, algorithms and data structure, and version control. And the final learning path we offer is cybersecurity operations. This one is a little bit different than the others in that we do require 1+ years of actual cybersecurity experience. And not just having like a higher education in cybersecurity, actual work experience is what is required. Additionally, you need to have an active CompTIA Security Plus for this learning path. The LinkedIn Learning, you still have that as a prerequisite for this learning path is Cybersecurity Fundamentals. And then you can see, again, the far right, some of the interview topics that are going to be covered could be NIST, NICE framework, security development lifecycle, cyber attacks, network security, identity and access management, incident management, threat management, and/or security tools. So this slide just talks about some of the other resources that are available on our site. The first, you can go back and look at some of the success stories, some of the folks that have already gone through MSSA. Two that we feature here are Solaire Brown and Anthony Seo. Those can be just kind of inspiring and also give you an idea of where they landed after the program, and it just talks a little bit more about their journeys. Additionally, we have a Tech Transition Toolkit. That has some good information, even if you don't pursue MSSA, if you're just looking to get into technology, there's some good resources there. And then the last, we've got just a couple of recommended articles on just the whole job search and transition process. And there's a link there for LinkedIn for Veterans Free Premium. Right now, that program is on hold, so they are trying to find sponsorship for a VSO to provide free premium, and currently it's not free for service members. A couple of other offerings we have, if you feel like MSSA maybe isn't the best fit for you, but you're still interested in opportunities at Microsoft. Another possibility would be the Hiring Our Heroes Fellowship Program. That is for transitioning service members, and it is a 12-week program. Corporate fellows are usually senior leaders who have specialized skills that can contribute to the work of a Microsoft business team. Additionally, we have, through Hiring Our Heroes, we have a military data center partnership as well. Participants in that program often come from military backgrounds in critical infrastructure, maintenance, communications, IT, logistics, or operations, more of the hands-on roles. That program is 11 weeks. It's virtual, but there's 1 week of on-site training, and all of that is funded by Microsoft, the travel expenses. Additionally, we have MSSA for military spouses. And again, it can be any type of spouse, doesn't have to be an active duty spouse. That program is a little bit longer. It's a little bit more drawn out, just the days are more compressed, but the learning path for that is server and cloud administration. And then we have student veteran recruiting, where you can apply directly to Microsoft Careers. And then we have industry professional recruiting for people who already have industry experience. This is our last slide, and this just features all of our socials. We are on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and X. We have a recorded version of this info session on our YouTube page for anyone who wants to look at it again or get more information. Additionally, you can see the link to our website. Recommend you check out the FAQ section. And the most important item on here is how to get in touch with us. So mssaops@microsoft.com. if you have any questions about the MSSA program. All right, so Joe is turning off the